go. Alright. First, I gotta put minutes on my phone here. So I got 3 voicemails, but I don't believe it. How many steps have I done today? Not many. No, probably about a half a mile. I gotta get out there and run here in a minute. Get at least a mile and a half, 2 miles. At least. Last time I ran around the house 3 times. Ran now. I usually walk half of it and run half of it, and that's always good. Okay, I forgot what I was doing. Oh, first I gotta scrape off the number on my card here. I got my penny, got my Straight Talk card. Okay. Get my other glasses where I can see this. Alright. Straight Talk. This thing is dirty or something. Yeah, they foggy. I went and got my CDL renewed today. What's going on here? Come on. Alright, here we go. Add airtime. Enter PIN. Man, my eyes are getting bad. Gonna send me an email. Hold on. What's wrong with my eyes here? Like a while ago I was getting my CDL renewed. I had to take an eye test. I could not see nothing without these glasses, and I barely can with glasses. I think I see better with these other ones. No, not really. Supposed to send me an email, but it didn't do it. Alright. What I'm doing here, I plan on putting my show back on TV, and I'm brushing up on how to do it. I got this book probably 10 years ago. probably 10 years ago, and I read all of that book. It's an old version, but it's still the same. TV production's still the same. And now they've got a school online here. Let me get to it. And I'm at the first part of it, but the first part of it's got so many. It's like 1, A, B, C, and I'm on number 5. I think it's on script writing. Yep. Scripts. Here we go. So now we fix to get into script writing. And I do write scripts. This ain't no elaborate studio. You can see my green screen back here. But I just put it on a pad. That's my script. You can see a line across here. Up above that line is what I'm going to put on the show. And then I start building the show down here. Come down here, I start building the show. And that's my script. It don't have to be elaborate like this does. This is basically TV and movies. Here. Alright. The script, the key element in productions. When I went up to better put them back in my pocket. When I went up to Muscle Shows 3 or 4 years ago, I typed out a really good, and I spaced them out. Where if I wanted to change anything, I could do it on the spot. Plus, hello? No, it ain't. Are you crazy? I'm so sorry. Yes. Yeah, I'm gullible. Yeah. Yes, sir. You're about full of shit. Did I say that? With a basic overview of the production process out of the way, we can look at the key element in the process, the script. There are semi-scripted shows and fully scripted shows. What would mine be? Mine's semi-scripted probably. In the first category are interviews, discussions, ad-lib programs, and mine probably ad-lib, and many demonstration and variety shows. These scripts resemble a basic outline, with the only segments and basic times listed. Although scripts for a semi-scripted show may be comparatively easy to write, since there's very little to write. That's my show. This type of show puts pressure on the director and talent to figure things out as they go along and try to bring things together on the fly. So maybe I ought to be doing fully scripted. Much in contrast, scripts for fully scripted shows list the complete audio and video for every minute. Every minute. In a fully scripted show, the overall contents, balance, pace, and timing can be figured out before the production starts so that surprises can be minimized. Notice we didn't say eliminated. There you go. Y'all see this? You can't talk to me on here, you know. The concrete, hey. Abstract continuum. Documentary and hard news pieces should be reasonably concrete. That is, they should present information clearly, minimizing the possibility for misunderstanding. A concrete news script is quite different in approach than a feature story, soft news piece, music video, or dramatic production. So news has got to be precise. Can't be no mistakes. In the latter cases, it's often desirable not to be too concrete in order to allow room for personal interpretation. Let's look at two examples. We're looking at two examples. Yeah, about 10 years ago, I read this whole book. I bought it. I think this book was like $75. $75. It ought to have a price right here. $75. And it's basically what I'm reading right now. I'm just brushing up, and it's easier for me to do it online than to read this book again, because these letters are really, really small. And it's got pictures and stuff. See? It's pretty interesting. You know, I can still read that too. An instructional video on the operation of a software program should be explicit, concrete as possible. Given the nature of computers and computer programs, information should be presented in a clear, step-by-step fashion. Although you'll want to present a material in a creative, interesting, and possibly even humorous way, that's me, humorous way, the challenge is in having all audience members acquire the same clear idea of a specific sequence of operational procedures. If most of the audience can successfully operate the program afterward, you're successful. If they can't, you're not. In contrast to this concrete type of production, there are, for example, feature pieces on jazzercise or new fashions. Given the fact that the audience has undoubtedly seen scores of television segments on fashion, the first challenge is to approach the segment in a fresh, creative, attention-getting way. Because fashions appeal largely to the ego and emotions, we're less interested in communicating facts than in generating excitement. Creating a positive emotional response. Here it is again. Hold their interest. That's what you got to do in TV. You got to hold the audience's interest. I got to go get something to drink. Hold on. Let me give you something to watch here. give y'all something to watch while I'm going to get my
Georgia to Alabama, yeah, from Florida to Tennessee, all the way to Louisiana, across the old Mississippi, searching for the bloodline, hope they're searching for me. Take it any way you want to, really don't matter much to me. It's all about God and country, yeah, taking care of your family. Try to do it that way. Take care of the kinfolks.
Okay, I'm back. Now, as you can see, I've got it humming in the background there. It's my fan. But I gotta have it because it's hot. I'll try to talk a little loud where y'all can hear me. Holding their interest in script content, a logical and linear sequence is the most natural approach, especially when information must be presented in a precise step-by-step fashion. In some types of productions, however, it's not desirable to use a structured linear presentation. In fact, this can end up being a bit predictable and boring. I can see that. In dramatic productions, the techniques of using flashbacks, momentarily cutting back to earlier events, or presenting parallel stories, two or more stories running at the same time, can add variety and stimulate interest. I ain't never tried that. I may have to try that later. Parallel stories. Okay. But whatever the approach, be certain to present the materials in a way that will hold the attention and interest of your audience. You can do this by engaging the audience's emotions, I wonder if it'd help if I put this laptop in front of me. Probably be able to see it better. Let's try it. Move that out of the way. See if it'll sit right there. Now, I can't get the cord over there. Well, that didn't work out. Presenting your ideals in fresh, succinct, clear, and creative ways. I don't know how to say that word. Succinct, clear, and creative ways. Making your viewers care about the subject matter. Making them clear, making them care. Using oral and visual variety. Spicing up interviews. that they're going to talk about later on, interviewing techniques. Even though talking heads can get boring, the credibility of an authority or the authenticity of the person directly involved in the story is generally better than a narrator presenting the same information. However, except for rather intense and emotional subject matter, keep in mind that once you see what someone looks like during an interview, you will probably want to enhance interest and pace in your piece during the editing phase by cutting in B-roll related supplementary footage. I need to remember that right there. When I'm interviewing somebody, just keep the audio going and cut into maybe pictures or stuff like that. That'd be so cool. Like when I interviewed Jimmy Johnson, one of the Swampers, you know, he was talking about Leonard Skinner. Well, there's some pictures online of him with Leonard Skinner. So keep the audio talking about it and put that picture on there. B-roll related supplementary footage. B-roll footage consists of shots of people, objects, or places referred to in the basic interview footage, the A-roll. At the same time, don't let the B-roll footage distract from what's being said. In television, A-rolls and B-rolls refer to rolls or reels of film or videotape. At the same time, other recording media have largely replaced both. Although audio and video technology changes rapidly, in this case and many others, we tend to stick to the original and often outdated terms to describe things. Recall that in England, the TV control room is still the gallery, in many cases a setting that hasn't been used there since about 1940. Whenever you plan an interview, also plan for supplemental B-roll footage. Sometimes you won't know what this will be until after the interview suggestion. So you need to keep your production options open. In post-production, you'll need to specify exact points in the interview, the A-roll, where the B-roll footage will go. Simply trying to describe points in the scenes of edits can be difficult and open the door to errors, not to mention require lots of words. The only way to specify precise audio and video edit points is to use time code numbers, and in other words, mark it, where you can go back to it. I don't need to do that because I edited it here. I ain't got that much footage anyway. I ain't got that much footage. These numbers specify points of video recordings within the least 1/30th of a second, a level of accuracy important for a tightly edited show. Note the time code numbers in the picture on the left. In this case, we read them as 0 hours, 1 minute, 16 seconds, and 12 frames. We'll go into time codes more in the audio and video editing sections. Assembling the segments, not seconds, segments. Documentary writers who prefer a systematic approach have the luxury of time. Start by typing or having typed a transcript of the interviews on the computer. That's me. That's me. Complete with time code references, not me. Well, sometimes I did. Sometimes I guesstimated time code. This is especially valuable if you need to break up numerous lengthy interviews and rearrange them in a topical or more logical sequence. I do most of this on my show. Most word processing programs allow 2 or more windows on the screen. Using this approach, you can search and review the interview transcript in one window while writing the script in the other. Thus, you can easily condense, rearrange, and assemble the segments directly on the computer screen to provide the most logical and interesting flow. It's fixing to rain. Well, Auburn got beat. They're out of it. In some instances, you may be able to play the video and audio sequences on the computer and see the results as you go along. That's pretty much what I do when I'm building the show. Whenever it's necessary to explain or amplify points or establish bridges between interview segments, you can write a narration. An announcer will generally read this over B-roll footage. In writing the script, be alert at every moment to use the most effective means of getting your ideas across. In writing the script, I just read that. Ask yourself which techniques will best illustrate your point. Narration, a short clip from an interview, an electronically animated sequence, a graph, or a still photo. Some sophisticated editing programs have speech recognition capabilities, which means that during editing it can find spoken words or phrases in video footage. How about that? Mine ain't got that. In establishing the pace of production, eliminate long, slow periods and even long, fast-moving periods. Either will tire an audience. Except for a short, fast-paced montage, a rapid succession of images, keep shot segments to at least 2 seconds in length. Conversely, only a scene with plenty of action or intensity will be able to hold an audience for more than 30 seconds. How about that? You know, I could get this camera and hook it up to here and put it in front of me. I think I'll do that. That'd be perfect. Have it down here. All right, let me hook this one up. This other camera. Hopefully it'll work. It don't show. There we go. There we go. Get it up here. That's pretty good. Okay. Alright. I still see my green screen back here. And my other computer right behind me. Wish I had a light. Right here, I can probably pull that down now. There we go. I don't know what I was doing, but my logo. Let me read the rest of this here. Establish the pace of the production, eliminate long, slow periods, or even, oh, we done read that. Except for a short, fast-paced montage, a rapid succession of images, keep shot segments to at least 2 seconds in length. 2 seconds. Conversely, only a scene with plenty of action or intensity will be able to hold an audience for more than 30 seconds. Don't understand that? Remember, engage your audience quickly and leave them with a positive impression at the end. In between, keep interest from drifting by varying pace, emotional content, and presentation style. About to the end of this one. Yeah, you can see 2 sets of drums behind me. Both of them's my son's. These are the ones I used to have years ago. They're probably in the 70s. They're Yamaha. And these over here are the cheap set my son bought. They need heads on them. They could probably be alright if you put new heads on them. Them things right there is heavy. They're heavy. The rest of them's on over this way. But them suckers are heavy. But I gave them to my son on his birthday a couple of 2 or 3 years ago. I wasn't going to play no more. But I ended up finding some drums pretty cheap myself, and I bought them. Now I'm playing again. New ideas. Some innovative production ideas have permanently altered the course of dramatic productions and represented major success for those who introduced them. Let me get another mic here. Let's see if we can get this mic right here to working. Get this sucker on now. There it is. Hello. 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 One of them's working. Hello. Alright, we'll use that one. Let's turn this other one on too. Hello. That ain't nothing. Cut it back off. Hello. Alright, let's cut this other one back on. That seems to be a pretty good one right there. It's good and loud. So we'll use that one. Okay. Okay. All right. Yeah. Where was I? Some innovative production ideas have permanently altered the course of dramatic productions and represented major success for those who introduced them. The TV series Nikita introduced a number of innovations when it premiered on the USA Network in 1997. We're referring here to the original TV series starring Peter Wilson. These new ideas were enough to keep the series in the #1 spot for 2 years and propel the series through most of 5 seasons. Ain't never heard of that show. La Film Nikita. Have you ever heard of that show? I hadn't. First, his series introduced a highly condensed style of writing dialogue. The approach was, don't say it if you can show it, and the audience can figure it out. Second, La Film Nikita introduced realistic approaches to series cinematology, which was then copied by the TV series. Third, having a female action lead was a relatively new ideal at the time. The success of this TV series was widely credited to Peter Wilson, an inexperienced female lead at the time who helped break new ground for women. Nikita was a highly demanding role, both physically and emotionally. The fact that Wilson insisted on doing most of her own stunts added credibility to the role. Finally, the series grappled with vexing, lesser of the two evils, moral issues for which there was no easy answer. There is more on this series in this author's blog entry. Click here for the quiz. This quiz is too fast, y'all. I take them, but they're really too fast. Now I'm going to try it. 2 or more stories running concurrently. Parallel stories. Compared to hard news, a video piece on fashions would be more video footage that supports the primary footage. B-roll. Momentarily cutting back to an earlier time. Flashback. Numbers that designate numbers. Time code. Documentary and hard news pieces. Let's see what I got. I got them all in there. 10 seconds. Alright, let's check it. Made 100. Made 100, y'all. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Return to module. The next module. Alright. Woo! Man. Can't believe I made 100 on that one. I found out how to do it though. If you don't know one, skip to the next one. And then go back to it when you got more time. That's what I just done. Next module. Script writing guidelines. Let's see if we can put both of these up here. There we go. Good. I can see both cameras now. Script writing guideline. This thing's got a dog with a hat and sunglasses on going. Can a contractor build an office building without being able to understand the architect's blueprints? Not likely. This looks like it's going to be a long one. In somewhat the same way, key production personnel must be able to understand scripts, especially the nuances in good dramatic scripts, before they can translate them into productions. A comprehensive guide to script writing is beyond the scope of the course. However, when you complete this module, you should understand the basic elements of scripts and even have a good start on writing one. Remember, the most traveled route to producing is through writing. Excuse me, Mr. Brinkley. Many years ago, while dining in Miami restaurant, a TV production student of mine saw David Brinkley, one of the most experienced and respected network anchor persons of all time. The student walked boldly up to Mr. Brinkley's table, introduced himself as an inspired TV journalist, and asked, "Mr. Brinkley, what advice could you give me to be successful in broadcast journalism?" David Brinkley, who won more awards and news than any radio or TV newscaster in history, put down his fork, thought for a moment, and said 3 things: learn to write, and learn to write. Okay. Although you can learn the basics of writing here in good book, you can become a good writer only by writing, doing lots of writing. Most successful writers spend considerable time writing before they start getting it right, at least right enough to start making money consistently. In a sense, initial failures aren't failures. They're a prerequisite for success. Thomas Edison said, "Genius is 1% inspiration and 99% perspiration." Perspiration? By another definition, a genius is a talented person who has done all of his or her homework. These modules constitute the prerequisite homework involved in success. Keep in mind that writing for electronic media is not the same as writing for print. Those who write for print enjoy some advantages their broadcast counterparts don't have. For example, a reader can go back and reread a sentence. If a sentence isn't understood in a TV production, the meaning is lost or the listener is distracted while figuring out what he said. With the written word, such things as chapter divisions, paragraphs, subheadings, italics, boldface, type guide the reader, and the spelling of sound-alike words can indicate their meaning. Things are different when you write for the ear. In order to deliver narration in a conversational style, you don't always have to follow standard rules of punctuation. That's me. That's me. You can see part of my laptop right here. Ellipses, 3 dots, are commonly used to designate pauses. Often, complete sentences are used, just as they aren't used in normal conversation. In broadcast, writing an extra helping of commas provides clues or phrases. Although this may be inconsistent with proper writing form, and your English 101 teacher may not approve, the overriding consideration of writing narration is clarity. This entails making it easy for an announcer to read and making it easy for an audience to understand. The way we perceive verbal information also complicates things. When we read, we see words in groups or thought patterns. This helps us grasp the meaning. But when we listen, information is delivered one word at a time. To make sense out of a sentence, we must retain the first words in memory while adding all subsequent words until the sentence's thought is complete. If the sentence is too complex or takes too long to unfold, meaning is missed or confused. Y'all understand that? Of course, through proper phrasing and word emphasis, a narrator can also go a long way towards ensuring understanding. This gives the spoken word a major advantage over the written word. Broadcast style. Writers write video scripts in broadcast style, with allowance for sentence variety. Video scripts use short, concise, direct sentences. You also need to be aware of some common mistakes which educated listeners will catch, such as the difference between further and farther, and less than and fewer than. It's hard stuff. It's some hard stuff right here I'm reading right now. Broadcast style. I just read that. Of course, the English language is constantly changing. Things which were deemed wrong at one point can eventually come into regular use and become accepted. For example, in the preceding sentence, which should actually be that, but this is another case where things have been changed. Which and that. Close proximity is being accepted, even though proximity means close, so it's actually redundant. There are less concerns about good grammar in advertising. Should be fewer concerns. Fewer relates to things you can count, less to things you can't. Script writing. This is my script writing right here. That's my script writing when I do my show. Everything up above this line right here that I'm pointing to, that's everything that's on my show that I'm going to put on my show. This is everything where it's going to be in my show. Pretty much the script. And I don't write down exact words to say or anything. I write down what's got to be said, and I want it said like you're talking to your best friend. The use of whom, etc. There are some situations, especially in broadcasting, where proper usage can sound stilted and off-putting. One of these is with whom. Although we have detected a move to using the proper whom in publications, this has not been widely adopted in broadcasting. When was the last time you heard whom used in a commercial? In these modules, we have stuck to who in most cases. However, in broadcasting, proper usage is often dictated by common usage, so we reserve the right to change our minds in the future. Even so, there are clear transgressions of proper grammar in broadcasting that aren't as forgivable. For example, in a recent Fox News report on a lost dog, a reporter stated her dog had ran away. Many viewers are quick to pick up on such errors. And bring them to the attention of management. On a resume reel, this kind of thing should get anyone dropped from consideration. No station wants to hire someone who is grammatically illiterate. And finally, there is the case of the singular gender neutral they. Well, I didn't get that. Her dog ran away. Her dog had run away. Don't sound right, but still. And finally, there is the case of the singular gender neutral they, which has now been adopted by sources such as the Washington Post style guide. So in reference to a dog show, for example, we have everyone wants their dog to succeed, as opposed to the theoretically more correct, everyone wants his or her dog to succeed. Oh, I get that now. I get that. Hey, I got one. Facts must be taught. Verbs strong and active. A script should crackle. 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 I don't know what that means. Crackle. Supposed to storm today, but it's still sun shining outside. Avoid dependent clauses at the beginning of sentences. If y'all just now joining me or anything like that, I plan on putting my TV show back on the air next May. And I'm studying up on script writing, on TV production, you know. I'm studying online right now, but I've also got a book here. TV production. I bought this about 10 years ago, at least 10 years, but probably more than that, probably about 15 years ago. And I've been studying up on that. And I read that whole book when I first got it. And this has got a really good TV production school online. You take tests and everything. So that's what I'm doing. I'm going through this, getting my knowledge back up where I can bring y'all the best show ever. The best show ever. That's what I want to do. And I'm going to make mistakes and everything doing this because I'm new at it and I ain't had a teacher tell me right from wrong or anything like that because I'm doing this on my own. And a lot of this it don't concern me. A lot of it don't. Now, I do write a script, but I write it where I can read it. And maybe somebody that might be helping me. But other than that, you know, I want to learn all I can on this. Some of this stuff would pertain to me. Some of it won't, but some of it will. But regardless, I want to know all I can about it. And this is long. It may take me from now to, I'm fixing to have a lot of time at home. So I got plenty of time to do this. So if y'all just now joining me, that's what I'm doing. Avoid dependent clauses at the beginning of sentences. I don't need to know all this. Let me skip here. 10 news writing guidelines. All that was doing is grammar stuff. With a bit of help from Miss Deborah Potter of RTNFD, let's see what that is. The Radio and Television News Directors Foundation. Okay. Here are 10 guidelines for writing news. And that's basically how I write, is like it's the news. While making sure you bring the most interesting and surprising elements to the forefront of your story, don't give away everything right at the beginning. I do that. I got to stop that, it says. She says to maintain interest by spreading these nuggets throughout the story and try not to let the lead in to the story steal the thunder from what follows. I got to remember that. Now that would pertain to me. I let everybody know what's fixing to happen right at the beginning of the show, and this is telling me not to do that. Use the active voice, subject, verb, and object. Remember that nouns and verbs are stronger than adjectives and adverbs. Don't tell viewers that they should be feeling what they should be feeling by using adjectives, especially shop-worn adjectives such as tragic, amazing, and stunning. Save those words for commercials. See, I do that too. I guess it tells me I got to stop doing that. Avoid jargon. Use well-known terms. For example, your audience probably won't know what ENG and B-roll means. Okay. Include refining details such as, for example, the type of trees being cut down. Or what genre of music this band plays. That's what I do. Tell the story as if you were trying to catch the interest of a friend. Try mentally to follow up on the phrases. Guess what? Well, this may be hard to believe, but I can see that. Y'all see that? I hope y'all can hear me. I believe you can. After you write something, try to set it aside for at least 10 minutes and concentrate on something else. Then go back and review the story with a fresh perspective. At that point, it may be easier to catch and eliminate unnecessary words and phrases. I've done that too. Rewrite sentences that are too long, tongue twisting or awkward phrases, phrases that could be taken two ways, long titles. The popular award-winning 18-year-old College Park Central High School sophomore. Whew, that is a long title. Don't rely on the soundtrack to tell the story or explain the video. The basic idea should be obvious from the video. At the same time, the audio and video should complement and strengthen each other. Screen the complete audio and video story, the package, as a doubting Thomas. Have you made statements that could legitimately be challenged? You're clearly stated that verified facts to silence any rational critic. There's a lot to this segment. I'm going to take a breather after I get through this one. I think it's a little bit more than halfway. Keep in mind the basic guidelines of correlating or relating audio and video, because viewers are accustomed to having what they see on screen relate to what they hear, generally in the form of dialogue or narration. Note that the intentional, long and complex sentence you just read is not appropriate for broadcast style. That's my logo. If viewers see one thing and hear another, things can get confusing. Even though you want audio and video to relate, watch out for the see, dick, run approach, where the audio states the obvious. If you can clearly see what's happening on the screen, this can be annoying. Although radio drama had to slip many things into the dialogue to tip off the listeners to what they couldn't see. Emma, why are you staring out the window? This is hardly the case with TV, where you can see what's taking place. I understand that. The trick is to write slightly off the pictures. This means that while you don't describe the pictures, your words aren't so far removed from what is being seen that you split viewer attention. This technique involves a delicate balancing act. Information overload. There's one of my problems right here. Information overload. And I even repeat myself 2 or 3 times like the viewer is stupid or something. I have to quit doing that. With more than 100 TV channels available to viewers in some areas and millions of pages of information available on the internet, one of today's biggest problems is information overload. In TV production, the goal is not simply to unload information on viewers. To be successful, you must engage your audience and clearly communicate selected information in a manner that will both enlighten and possibly even entertain. If a script is packed with too many facts, or if the information is not clearly presented, the viewer will become confused, lost, and frustrated. Frustrated. I said frustrated. I can't talk. Lost versus bored. Not only is the amount of information you communicate important, but also the rate of which is presented. In information-centered production, give the viewer a chance to process each idea before moving on to the next. If you move too rapidly, you'll lose your audience. Too slowly, and you'll bore them. The best approach in presenting crucial information is an instructional production is first to signal the viewer that something important is coming. Next, present the information as simply and clearly as possible. Then reinforce the key points by repeating them in a different way or with an illustration or two. I need to reread this several times because there are a lot of mistakes I'm making just from this right here. Then reinforce the key points to repeating them in a different way or with an illustration or two. Here are 7 general rules to remember in writing for television. Some of these apply to instructional production, some to dramatic production, and some to both. Assume conversational tone by using short sentences and an informal, approachable style. Engage your audience emotionally. Make them care about both the people and content of your production. Provide adequate logical structure. Let viewers know where you're going, which concepts are key, and when you're going to change the subject. After making an important point, expound on it. Illustrate it. Don't try to pack too many facts into one program or program segment. Give your audience a chance to digest one concept before moving to another. Pace your presentation according to the ability of your target audience to grasp the concepts. Although video has abandoned much of the grammar established by early filmmaking, even in this MTV, YouTube era, we can use various techniques to add structure to formal productions. In dramatic productions, slow lap dissolves when 2 video sources overlap during the transition from one to another, often signal a change in time or place. Fade-ins and fade-outs, which apply to both audio and video, can be linked to the beginning and end of a book chapters. A fade-out consists of 2 or 3 second transition from a full signal to a black silence. A fade-in is, of course, the reverse. Fade-ins and fade-outs often signal a major change or division in the production, such as a major passage of time, but often is a long way from always. Traditionally, television plays, and screenplays, film scripts, start with a fade-in and close where they fade out. A number of terms and abbreviations are used in script writings. Some describe camera movements: truck, dolly, and zoom. When the entire camera is moved towards and away from the subject, it's referring to a dolly. A zoom, which is an optical version of a dolly, achieves somewhat the same effect. A script narration might say, camera zooms in for close-up of John, or camera zooms out the shot. The laterally move is a truck. Note the illustration above. Some terms designate shots. Cuts and takes are instant transitions from one video. Grammatical terms, shots, and cover shot. I don't need none of this. Occasionally, the abbreviations XLS, extreme long shot, or VLS, very long shot. I don't need none of this. Simple video script, that's me. Let's see what it looks like. That's close to what mine is, but it, it ain't that technical. Dramatic film script format, commercial script. Let's look at this news script. That's pretty close. The news script is pretty close to what I do. Let's try this commercial script. That's about the same as the news. And the dramatic film video script. It's pretty close right there. Pretty close. All of them's pretty close. All of them tells the tale, MS, MCU, CU, XCU. LS is long shot. FS, where's FS? Oh, full shot. MS, medium shot. MCU is from the shoulders, probably. CU is close up. See, I don't need none of this. So let's take the test. Boy, it's got a lot of we'll take this test, but it ain't gonna be good. An established shot is similar to a blank shot. Laterally move, there's a truck. When two video source transition momentarily overlap is called a loud dissolve. A Dutch angle is also referred to as a blank shot. A blank shot is one of actors moving the entire dolly. Optical version of a dolly, an optical version of a zoom, a Dutch, subjective, candid, actor's perspective, candid, subjective, a Dutch angle. Okay. We run out of time on me. I missed that last one anyway. I got the ones that I got up there. This thing's got a time limit on it, and it's hard to do. Okay, that's about all I'm going to do today, folks. That's about all I'm going to do today. And the next module is, see what it is. Module 7. Costing out a production. Actually, I don't need to read this one either. So I just need to read several of them. I don't need to read this one, so we'll probably skip this one. So I'm getting out of it. That's all it was. There we go. And I'll probably move on to module 8 instead of 7, because that costing out the production it don't apply to me. Okay? Alright. I'm going in here and rest my fanny. I start my chemo this Monday, and I'm gonna study this with my phone. Or I may even take this laptop. Nah, I'll just take my phone and earplugs and study it on my phone. Because this laptop will probably run out. Anyway, that's pretty cool. So I'm getting out of here, y'all. I'm going to get out of here. And see y'all next time. Anybody that watched this, I appreciate it. And like I always say, keep making music, Alabama. Alabama Music will be coming back on Charter Cable Channel 80 in May. First week in May 2020. And listen, if you ain't got Charter or Spectrum cable, don't worry about it. Because I always put it right here, up above me. You see all the tabs. One of them says TV show. I put it there. If you're a friend of mine on Facebook, I put it there. You can also go to Alabama Cable Network's website. They live stream Channel 80. Right? Let me see if I can do that on here. On my big computer, it won't do it. So let me try it on here. Web browser. Alright. It's Alabama Cable Network.com. Let's see if it works on here. Hopefully I spelled it right. I believe I did. Might take it a little while to come up. There it is. Alright, y'all can still hear me too, I reckon. Alright. Says I need Adobe Flash system to do this, so we're not going to do that right now. So we'll just get right back off of there. All these computers, it says I got to have a flash player, and I don't know what's going on, but you can get it on your phone. Let me show you here. There's mine. Y'all probably watching that right now. Where am I at? There I am. Okay. Okay. All right. Alabama. Cable. There we go. Ah, here's what I was trying to pull up. You know, I had that on there. All right, play. Here we go.
Jewel heated and power seats, good tires, brakes, runs, drives very good. Very well maintained vehicle, clean car pack, only 2 owners. It's got 199,000 miles on it. You might be interested if you see some 4-door. And you can call him at 256-339-27. That's 256.
That was Alabama Cable Network, Charter Cable Channel 80. They live stream on their website. So if you ain't got Charter Cable, just get on the internet and you can watch it, or go to my web page. If you're watching this, you're on it right now. And actually, you can see this same broadcast later on. All you got to do is go to that archive and go right to the bottom of the page when you get to it, and it says uploads, and you'll see it right there. This same broadcast we own right now. So like I always say, folks, keep making music, Alabama.